Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 7 of Millionaire Mindset Mornings. Can you believe we have made it to the end of our first week where I have been going live every morning at 8 a.m. sharing with you some tips and strategies for business owners? Excuse me. And we're wrapping up our first week. Our focus was on a mindset reset because we wanted to make sure we built a strong foundation before we started chasing the coins and chasing the bag. So we are wrapping up the week 1 and week 2. We're going to be tackling a different topic, but our day 7 topic is going to be about, we're going to be talking about how you are built different, why your mindset is the millionaire move that can't be copied. Your mindset is your cheat code. Okay, so your thoughts, your ideas, your creativity, nobody can copy that. Okay, that is your IP, your intellectual property, and we're going to be diving deep into that. Okay, now whether you're watching live or watching the replay, I want to make sure I shout you out. So if you have been able to tune in all 7 days, then I want you to put some fire emojis in the chat. Now, if this is your first day, then that's okay too. Drop your name, where you're watching from. I want to be able to shout you out as well. Okay, because we welcome everybody into the Gold Digger fam and the Gold Digger tribe. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in today's topic. We want to finish this mindset week off strong because your mindset is at everything, and your strategy, it cannot be copied. So let's go ahead and get into it. And as always, I'm going to try and post the different points in the chat so you can see, especially if you're hopping on late, you can be able to see what exactly we're talking about. So I always give you 3 points. So our first point for today is going to be your strategy is public, but your mindset is private. I'm going to say that again. Strategy is public, but your mindset is private. So strategies are visible. Anybody can Google various different strategies, various different business plans, marketing funnels, IG funnels, that kind of thing. You can Google that. You can easily copy that. Okay. But what's not visible is that mindset. Your mindset is private. That is what is internal. Okay. It's your grind. It's your grit. Okay. That is what can't be copied. So let me put up the first point here. Strategy is public, but mindset is private. So point one. So strategy is public, but mindset is private. All right. Those private ideas, those private thoughts that you have. Okay. And the reason for that is, have you ever seen have you ever seen somebody try to copy somebody's idea? Um, or you might see two people, they might take the same course, they might go through the same program, and one person is thriving and another person is barely surviving, even though they were given the same strategy, even though they were given the same blueprint. Okay, they were given all the things that the other person had, but one person is thriving and the other one is barely surviving. The reason for that is because it's based off of their mindset. Okay, and that is also why I told you this first week we're focusing on mindset, because I want you to reframe and shift your mindset and make sure you have a strong foundation when it comes to mindset. Because I told you, if I give you these tips and strategies and your mind is not in the right place, you're not going to be able to execute on them. Okay, you just are not in the right mental space to take the ideas, to take the strategies, and be able to run with it. And that's why you can see people who have been given the same blueprint, taking the same course, and one of them is successful and the other one is just sitting there complaining about why they can't make money. All right, it's all about the mindset. Okay, so you have to get your mindset right. All right, and that your mindset also helps you innovate when other people try to copy you. Your mindset takes you behind just being, those people who are just copycats, who are just copying and pasting what other people are doing. Because with your mindset, you have that creativity, you have that innovation, you have the new ideas, the new thought processes and stuff. With your mindset, you're able to zig when everybody else is zagging, and while you out there zigging, you're out there winning. Okay, that's what your mindset does. That is what your mindset does, and that's why you have to have a strong foundation. All right, and y'all can let me know in the chat too. Has anybody ever tried to copy your idea and try and pull it off, and they were not successful? They were not successful at all, because they don't have your IP. They don't have your IP address, which just stands for your intellectual property. All right, they don't have that. All right, so keep that in mind. That was point number one. We're moving on to point number two. Point number two is that your mindset turns setbacks into setups. I'm going to put that in the chat as well. So point two is your mindset turns setbacks into setups. Please remember that. All right. Your mindset turns setbacks into setups. All right. What I mean by this is when you encounter failure, and we talked about reframing failure earlier this week. So if you haven't seen that video, please go ahead and check it out. So when you encounter failure, because you will, failure is inevitable if you are in business. Everything is not going to be successful. But when you encounter failure, it doesn't feel final to you because your mindset is fixed on growth. So even though you have a setback, it doesn't totally take you out of the game. Your mindset is fixed on growth. Your mindset is fixed on pivoting and adjusting and being able to move beyond that failure. Okay. That's what we talked about when we talked about reframing failure. And we said every time you get a no, or every time you have a failure, that is not just rejection. It could be redirection. Okay. It could be redirection instead of just taking it as rejection and stopping you right in your tracks. Okay. So failure doesn't feel final if your mindset is fixed on growth. All right. Another way your mindset can turn setbacks into setups is that mindset, it helps make you resourceful when resources are thin. Okay. When you are down to the last, and it could be your last dime, your last, when it comes to money, or your last employee, or when you're down to your last, you get really, when you have a good mindset, you will get really resourceful. You'll get really creative to make things happen. So your mindset makes you resourceful when resources are thin. So if you don't have the budget to do something, you might be like, okay, let me see how I can flip it, twist it, and still go out here, promote it, and make money. You get resourceful. You get gritty. Okay. It gives you that grit and that grind that kicks in when your mindset is in the right place. If your mindset is not in the right place, you're like, oh, I don't have money to do this. Then you just stop right there. You don't do it. But when you have the right mindset, when you're like, oh, I don't have the budget to do this, then let me see what I can do and make it work with what I have. I always say that I have everything that I need. I'm equipped with everything that I need. So, and my favorite scripture is Philippians 4:19, where it says, my God shall supply all of my needs according to his riches and glory. So my whole philosophy is, according to that scripture, if I need it, then I shall have it. If I don't have it, that means I don't need it. Okay. I already have everything I need. So I'm going to make it do what it do with what I got, because I'm already equipped with everything I need. And that is why it's my favorite scripture. Okay. I'm gonna make it happen because God has already equipped me and put in me everything that I need to get it done. So when your resources might seem low, when it feels like you don't have enough, your mindset is what helps you to get resourceful, even when your resources are limited. Now, another way you can turn your mindset helps you to turn setbacks into setups is it helps to reframe stress into stamina. Okay. When you get those stressful situations, that's where you build stamina. And we talked about that when we talked about discipline. Okay. Discipline, when you encounter setbacks, it helps build your discipline muscle. Discipline is like a muscle that you're building. Okay. So you don't just survive the storms. The storms are going to come, but you don't just survive the storms, you've learned how to dance in the rain because you know eventually the storm is going to pass. Okay. So you don't just survive the storms, you out here dancing. You out here still doing the thing, doing what you're supposed to do because you reframe stress and you turn it into stamina. That's where you learn how to push through and persevere. Okay. So if you are a business owner, side hustler, entrepreneur, if you've ever had to go through a storm, put that's been me in the chat. Let me know. Let me know in the chat if you've ever had to go through a storm. But not that you just had to go through a storm, but you came out even better on the other side after you went through the storm. Okay. I want to know. So you go through those storms and you just get stronger. Okay. Instead of it wiping you out, it's like a testament to your stamina, to your resilience, to your grit, to your grind. All right. And here's an example. I love to use Auntie Oprah. Okay. Oprah's first job in television, she was fired from that job. Imagine if she would have stopped then. Imagine if she would have quit. Imagine if she would have given up at that point. She would not be who she is today. She literally built an empire. Now she has her own television network. They told her she was not fit for television. That's what they told her when she got fired from her job. That is what they told her. Imagine if she took their belief and not her own belief. Imagine if she took their belief and started thinking that about herself. But she already knew, she had the right mindset to know, hey, I'm bigger than this. I might not be right for their TV network, but I already know I'm equipped, I'm capable, and I am right for TV. So much so, Oprah is a household name, okay? You can't mention Oprah and not immediately think of her talk show and not immediately think of her TV show. And now, not only is she not fit for TV, like they said, she has her own television network, but she also produces movies. Say what now? You said I'm not fit for TV? She was like, let me show you. Let me show you. Not only am I fit for TV, I'm going to have one of the most popular talk shows for years. And I'm going to actually create my own network and I'm going to produce my own movies. That's what mindset does. Okay. Mindset will totally, you can't take other beliefs on for yourself. You have to know what you know, and believe what you know about yourself. Okay. In order to flip it. All right. So that was point number 2. I'm going to move along because I don't want to be talking too long. All right. So the third and final point that we have for today is I want you to remember, mindset is your millionaire cheat code. This is what our topic is for today. Mindset is your millionaire cheat code. So the last and final point is your mindset is going to be the culture of your business. Your mindset is going to set the tone for your clients, your customers, your employees, and how they experience you and your business. So if you operate from scarcity, that's going to trickle down to your customers, to your employees, all of that. So how do you want people to encounter you? Do you want them to encounter you with a scarcity mindset, or do you want them to encounter you with an abundance mindset? And if you have an abundance mindset, if you operate from an abundance mindset, then things are going to multiply and grow. Like I told you yesterday, sometimes we're scared, we're in competition. We don't want to start things because we feel like, oh, it's not enough room for me. Someone's already doing this idea. Someone's already created this particular business or whatever. And so I'm not going to get customers because somebody's already doing it. That's a scarcity mindset. When you feel like there's not enough for you. An abundance mindset lets you know there's room for all of us. All of us can be successful. All of us can survive. And that's why I always say, I want to see us all win because there's room enough for all of us to win. Okay. So let me put that last talking point in the chat real quick. And then I have a few other things I'm going to tell you regarding that. And then we're going to wrap it up. Jay Rayna, good to see you. She says, hey, glad I caught you, friend. Live friend. Yes, I am so glad you did too. And she says, yes, love this. All right. And yep, and I think she was co-signing about and she's been through some time. So good to see you. I hope you have been doing well. So let me put this last point in the chat. And then I just have a few more things to say about this. So the point number 3 is your mindset is the culture. Oh, I don't know. Spell culture of your business. All right. So how do you want people to encounter encounter you, whether that's your employees, whether that's your customers. How do you want them to encounter you? Hopefully you want them to encounter you from an abundance mindset and not a scarcity mindset. Now, with that being said, your mindset is the culture of your business. Your mindset is also what determines your consistency. Are you being consistent in showing up in your business? What do I mean by showing up? I don't mean just showing up, putting on a face when you're around customers. How are you showing up when nobody can see you? Are you doing the work? Are you putting in the work behind the scenes? Because oftentimes, like Beyonce and Chris Brown, all of them are putting on concerts. In order for them to put those concerts on, there was work that had to go on behind the scenes. If they didn't put in the work behind the scenes, they wouldn't be as great as they are when they get out there on stage and they perform. Okay, so even though you might be showing up in your business and you might be front facing when it comes to the customers, are you doing what is required behind the scenes? Are you prepping appropriately backstage? Are you getting ready like you're supposed to? So, are you consistently showing up? Because your mindset is what determines your consistency. So if your business is not consistent, chances are you might not be being consistent on the back end when it comes to promoting your business, posting on social media, telling people about your business, passing out business cards, doing the various marketing and stuff. So how do you expect for you to win on the front facing stuff if you're not doing the stuff on the back end, if you're not being consistent there? Okay. Because if you're inconsistent there, it's going to cause inconsistent sales in your business. And we talked about discipline. That was another topic that we covered during our Mindset Reset Week, because discipline is what keeps you going when that motivation fades. All right. We talked about all of us we'll say, this is what I'll commonly hear. People like, I just don't feel motivated to do it. And I told y'all, motivation fades. Motivation is not going to last. That discipline is what keeps you going. Probably most of y'all, when y'all get up in the morning, most of you make up your bed. Every time you make up that bed, you don't feel like making up that bed all the time. I know I don't feel like making up the bed all the time, but it's been disciplined in me. It's like it's a habit that even though I don't feel like it, I'm still going to do it. Okay. That's what that discipline is, because motivation is going to fade. So motivation is going to fade in your business. You're not always going to be motivated to do stuff. But if you have the discipline, then you're still going to do what you need to do despite the lack of motivation. So discipline is what keeps the light on. That's what keeps you going even when your motivation fades. And that is what your mindset helps to determine, because your mindset will help determine that consistency. All right, last thing I'm going to say about that point is your mindset becomes your brand reputation. How do you want people to see you? Okay, do you want them to see you as being inconsistent, or do you want to build a strong reputation? Because maybe you have a good product, maybe you have a good service, but ultimately it's that what keeps people coming back is not just the product or the service. It's your spirit. It's your energy. It's what you emit out to other people that keeps people coming back. Because have you ever been somewhere and maybe you purchased something or you got a service, but the person had a bad attitude and you don't come back? I know that's how I am. I'm funny about that, especially like with restaurants and stuff. I'm like, I'm not going back. The food might be good. Like, I'll use Chipotle as an example. There's 2 Chipotles in my area. I don't go to one of them because the way they be making my food, I don't feel like they be making it with love. They just be throwing the rice in the bowl all crazy. I need you to put my rice in the bowl with nice care, have a conversation with me. And because of that, even though there's, 2 Chipotles, pretty much the same food quality and stuff like that, I won't go to that other one because I don't like their energy they be putting out. And I don't want that in my food, because that's what I'm ingesting in my body. I don't want no negative. That's how strong I feel. I don't want any type of negativity coming to me, whether it's the person putting my food together or what. I need you to make it with love. Okay. So that is what you want to exude. And I know you have probably encountered or experienced something where you went someplace. They have a good product, they have a good service, but their energy is bad. Their attitude is off. And even though you really like the product, you don't want to go back because you don't want to be around that kind of energy. Okay. So I want you to think about that, because your mindset is the culture of your business. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about, if someone was to describe the energy of your business in one word, what do you think they would say? What do you think it would be? Keep that at the back of your mind or at the forefront of your mind, okay? If someone was to describe the energy of your business, what word do you think they would say? You can even take it a step further. If someone was to describe you, your energy in one word, what do you think they would say about you? And y'all can drop that in the comments, okay, as well. But you want to make sure you're emitting the right energy. You want to make sure you're emitting the right vibes, okay, and creating the right experiences for people. But that's all I have for y'all. I'm going to do a quick recap of the 3 points. So the first point is, remember that your mindset is your millionaire move, and that is your cheat code that can't be copied. So the first point is, strategy is public, mindset is private, meaning people can easily copy somebody's business plan, somebody's strategy. But if they don't have the right mindset, they don't have the right focus, then they won't be able to execute on it. The second point was mindset. Your mindset turns your setbacks into your setups. And the last and final point was, your mindset is the culture of your business. Okay. So like I said, your strategy, it can be copied, but your mindset, that is what is untouchable. That is your secret sauce, okay? So they can't touch your secret sauce, all right? So I want you to write down, I always have a millionaire mindset action step that I want you to take. So I want you to write down one mindset shift, you're going to make this week, and one way you're going to live it out. Let me say that again. Write down one mindset shift you are going to make this week. I'm starting off a brand new week, and one way you're going to live it out, okay? Because your mindset is not just a thought, it's your lifestyle. What you think is what you're going to be. What you see in your head is what you actually end up starting to be, okay? So just don't just think about it. I need you to walk it out on today. And you can drop it in the chat. You can drop an arm emoji in the chat, or you can put in the chat, built different. If you know you are built different, and you know that your mindset is your millionaire cheat code, okay? So I hope to see y'all on tomorrow. Tomorrow we are starting week 2 of our Millionaire Mindset Mornings. Week 2, we're going to be talking about money moves, how you can respect the bag and grow the bag, okay? And I'm thinking the topic for tomorrow might be broke habits don't build businesses, but I might remix that topic. I'm still debating how I'm going to pursue with it, just based off of some of the ideas I've come up with so far. So I might tweak it just a little bit. But week 2, we're going to be focused on money moves. Okay. So we're about to move from mindset to money. So get ready for it. All right. So that's all I have for now. Hold on. See, Raina put something in the chat. She put, great talk, right on time for me. Yes. Awesome. She says, I'm still gold digger. Love it, girl. Love it, love it, love it. Doing a tech sales training to pivot into the tech industry. That is awesome, because that industry is definitely growing, definitely, with all the stuff that's going on. And Jay Raina put built different in the chat. All right. And hope to see you tomorrow, Jay Raina. If not, just catch the replay. But I hope you have a wonderful start to your week. Y'all take care.